Yep, it's gonna be one of these videos to be perfectly honest, because I feel like it's kind of long overdue in a weird way. And so to be perfectly honest, I just wanted to get this out there and I guess vent a bit, because why not? These videos sometimes do well, so why not give it another try? But yeah, so I remember asking a question on Twitter basically about how well do you actually know me and how well do you actually understand me, not just as, what I do here, but as more of a person. And some people say they know me a bit, a little, and I would say a little enough to understand what I am and stuff like that. And then it made me question myself a little bit, be like, how well, or at least in a way, what do people think of me at the end of the day? Because I don't think I know exactly what I think of myself, to be honest. And hell, I don't even really know what you think of me as a person, much less as a person that creates this type of content and do the things that I do. I don't really know at all what people think. I know what some people think because they hate me, but at the end of the day, I don't know what the genuine audience or any new person will come through and think of me when it comes down to it. Because if you don't know, 32% of y'all basically search up my name on YouTube and that's how you find me. And then there is also a 30% of you who looks at me through YouTube shorts and stuff. And if you're someone that came through and wants to subscribe to the channel, then thank you very much. And then there's that part of me that looks at that 32% of people who search my name up through YouTube, and it's like, where have you heard my name before though? Like, where is it? Now granted, I know that I've had my name tossed around in certain circles, like certain Discord places or a Reddit post or so, or an auntie's hellhole, like I know. But when it comes down to it, I don't know where my name really crops up at when it comes down to it, and I really never had the idea to just go figure it out or go find it or ask about it if I didn't know. And I just kind of assumed that people just like, oh, they must just randomly heard about me or something like that, and that's just how it is. It wouldn't surprise me if a lot of people actually know who I am, but they just choose not to hit the subscribe button or press like or just remember and spread that name around. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if over 4,000 people know who the hell I am, but they just don't really think about it or even remember to hit the subscribe button. And I'm like that too. Like, I'll usually watch somebody and I usually watch a majority of their content and then I don't hit the subscribe button ever. And it's like, why don't I hit that shit? Because it's like, I'm gonna watch you anyway, so you might as well do that shit. So I'm the same way, I get that. But hitting the subscribe button means a lot, not only just for a number, but also just for the fact that means that there's one more person that came through to want to give me a chance of something. I would say a chance to really prove that, I can do something like this. And when it comes down to it, I still and will never forget the amounts of people, the small handful of people who said that I had the potential to do something with this and become something big and all that type of stuff. And at the end of the day, I'm still waiting on that potential to be awakened, honestly. It's literally like an egg laying, skills of the bird. And when it comes down to it, I'm still waiting on when the damn egg is gonna hatch. How do I get this egg to open? And it's still like the very big and hard, difficult thing I still can't fully wrap my head around on how to do it. Now there is ways, obviously, but there's also parts of those ways where I'm not interested in going for, which will basically become like everybody else and do something repeatedly, which is why I don't do that stuff. Like, for example, news videos, which, no offense to Rev or Hero Hey or anybody else that does news, but the thing about doing news videos and making content solely for that is that 3 years down the line, you look back at that content, there's no rewatchability for that. There's no, genuine care and love and precision of the creator that's, creating that content. There is none. And at the end of the day, you just made something that is like apparently, something apparent for that time. And when you go back to it, there's nothing real to just sit down and watch. There's no real part of that creator that's really there outside their opinion of what that one thing is. Where on my channel, you can at least go back to something like a bust down, or go back to something like a story related thing for JS64, or go back to a Rate the Waifu or a waifu material, and tune into those, and then you can kind of just go back and have that rewatchability. For a lot of the older videos, for a lot of the news videos back then, there is not like a lot of views that go to that. There's not a lot of people watching it and actively seeking it out, mainly because you probably don't even know it's there, and two, there's not really anything to rewatch that hasn't been said, and the video is probably just old news now, and that's another thing when it comes down to it. But then also at the very same time, when you do stuff that's different, when you do something different constantly, and you try to change up how you go about things, that's when other parts of this problem ends up rearing its ugly head, and mainly it's through YouTube as a whole, because YouTube like to throw around different little weird issues at you, like, not necessarily be able to grow your channel at all because you throw out different content, and not necessarily, effing with the idea that you're being creative to do something. So stop that and be like everybody else. And that's a harsh part of the system, much less content creation in general, whether you're a streamer or whatever, because you have to. Why you think there's so many VTubers that's out there that does streams and play games and does everything everybody else does? It's because it's what works, and then you break out maybe a bit faster with that. And at the end of the day, it feels a bit soul crushing in a way. I ain't saying that you can't do it, but just repeatedly on end without any type of change, it feels soul crushing, honestly. But at the same time, I think maybe that's what I need to do, instead of just trying to do something that I really want to do at the end of it. Because for those that don't necessarily know, and to get this out the way, life hasn't been kind to me at all when it comes down to what has been going on recently, especially just IRL, because I think we have this month, and maybe, even if maybe, the next, before food stamps get cut off, and we don't have a way to get food and procure that because we don't have an income, we don't have any type of funding or sources to keep us alive. So that's like a issue that's coming very soon within the next month. And then also I'll be 23 in that next month, so it's not great. I'm growing up, I'm getting older, and at the same time I've worked on this place for 4.5 years, only for it to not really provide the essence of what I really needed to do, even though I feel this is what I want to do, and I know this is what I want to do, and I feel like this place can absolutely raise some hell in a way that never been seen before, but it's just not growing in the way I need it to. And it's not like I got the money to chuck ads on, all over YouTube just to be like, watch me and all this sort of stuff. I don't have the ads for that, I don't. But at the end of the day, I try to do what I can, and that's why this month I try to upload at least one video every day to kind of at least get something going, whether it's a short or whether it is a actual content video, and just get that going to see how can we actually reach these people. Shorts have been doing numbers, but then there's also times where shorts don't do anything, and it only reaches a handful of people or 500 people or so, and that's not the numbers I need to hit, and it needs to be bigger. Granted, I know that universally when you hit 2,000 subscribers and stuff like that, your view range is gonna be within the 200 space or the 100 space. Now luckily there's been some content that has been out there that has been able to hit thousands of views or a bit more hundreds than normal, but it's not an every time occurrence though. And that to me is the fattest issue of this channel when it comes down to it. I don't think any of the content I put out so far has been bad. I don't think any of the things I've done has been trash in a way. I don't think any of the content is just in bad taste or whatever. I don't think that at all. I just believe it's the reach. which has always been the biggest issue when it comes down to it. The question is, how do I get that reach to go where I need it to go? And how do I break out of the cycle of death, what it feels like on this channel, and actually get into the cycle where everybody else is, honestly? Because there's even people that is around me in this same space and sphere where I'm at, they're able to talk to other people, get in touch, being able to collaborate or get sponsorship deals, and they're just on the same level, if not even lower than where I'm at. And at the same time, I'm just sitting here just like, how do you get this? How are you able to perceive that, right? And I'm still stuck here, and I'm just trying to figure it all out by myself, and I don't have any type of opportunity or given chance to figure it out. Which, to be very honest with you, that's something that's been running in my family for literally since I've been here. We don't get given anything. We break our backs and be stubborn about the shit that we really want to go get and do, which is why sometimes we annoy each other when it comes down to it, but we still get the job done no matter what. And that's what I feel about YouTube, is that even though things aren't really hitting where I need it to hit, I believe it will. I believe it can in the near future, much less right now if it wanted to. But when it comes down to it, we have to be stubborn about this shit. We have to be stubborn about this shit and force this shit to give us what we need to get. Because at the end of the day, there is no way I put 4.5 years into working on this channel only for it to be reaching this certain level or that certain level and not really hitting the levels where I need it to. Because that's absolutely wrong, and I feel like that's no way that should be the case. And I know it's a bit even, harder, because I know there's some of y'all that do really believe that the channel can actually grow and do something and change in a way, and it's like, there's no way I should be letting your expectations down, much less my own, when it comes down to it. We all kind of want the same thing in a way, and at the end of the day, it's like, how the hell do we break out of this small ass bubble and actually branch out like a damn tree or something like that? And it's so difficult because we don't really know what the answer is. And obviously, I say all this because not only to just get the channel going somewhere and hopefully get you to subscribe if you are somebody that's watching this and that's new, but at the very same time, there's also other personal goals I'd like to do. Like, for example, I would also like to get rid of the fact that I wear glasses, because glasses has always been a part of my life, really, for a long ass time. And I never really wanted to wear glasses any more than I have to. And while I'm used to it, and I'm obviously, it's normal for me, I still like to have laser eye surgery so I can actually get this fixed and not have to wear it anymore. Because I can't do contacts, because I don't like the idea of touching my eye. It sounds weird, I know, but I just don't like that. So I would rather just get the laser eye surgery, call it a day, and, just get that going. But I can't even do that if, this doesn't happen and this channel doesn't grow in the way it needs to. And it's also like, what better time to grow this channel and actually be someone popping and new when all these other bigger, older content creators recently been talking about retirement or giving up the ghost of the channel and things of the sort. And it's like, it's about time for a new and fresh face to come through. And it's just like, how do we get to that new and fresh face level for people to see, honestly? Do I think I'm going to impress everybody? No. Do I think there's going to be a lot of people that hate me mainly for the lolly thing? Absolutely. Is that going to stop me though? Absolutely not though. So really, for me, I'm just going to continue to keep praying, continue to keep, uploading, and continue to keep trying to pay attention and take this harder and seriously as I can, really has ever had before, and just see where we can go. I do know that there is a lot of work to be done, especially on the side of how do I get sponsorships and, get through all that nonsense and talk to more people and stuff like that. There's some work in that area, a lot of it, but when it comes down to it though, I do believe that we can actually make this work. I've never really thought that we couldn't make it work ever since we hit the first 1,000, honestly, because I'm like, we can hit this, we can hit 100k and 10k, and maybe we can hit that million. And I believe that is a thing that we can do. It's just how and when, I have zero idea. But what a glorious day would that be, though, to be finally in a position where it's like, oh, all these people that said I couldn't do anything, or these people that, didn't think that this was going to be possible in this sort of way, well, guess what? It is possible. Especially when you have so many success stories where people are at the lowest of lows, where we are potentially at right now, and essentially don't know where the hell to go, only for something instantaneously, a God-given miracle to come through, and they finally get what they got, and they finally reach the level where they can be fulfilling their life and be happy. And that's essentially where I feel like where we at right now. I just don't see it yet, and maybe for a lot of people that was also in this position don't see it either. But when it comes down to it, though, I just don't know. I'm just gonna keep working, just keep going hard at it, and just see what we can do. And maybe this might all just be a stupid mistake on my part when it comes down to it. Because I know somebody, or really anybody, will look at this situation as like, why aren't you trying to, instead of doing this, why don't you just try to work a job? Try to see if you can, get that going, honestly. But the simple answer is, for whatever reason, I just don't think working like that is gonna be it. And then at the same time, it's like, if I work that place, it's like, is this what all my stuff really amounted to? Is that really what all this stuff really led me down to this path of doing? Working at a job, being somebody else's, slave to do their bidding over? Like, is that what that really comes down to? So my mind, really, since, I really wanted to go ham at this, like, some years back, for real, it kind of always been like, this must be it. This has to be it. This is the only way I can think of for anything to be fixed around here, and just fixed in my life to actually get something that I want for once. And it just feels like this feels right. I just have to push through and make it happen and make it so. So that's just kind of what it feels like to me at the current moment in time. But at the end of all this, though, basically, I'm just not going to stop doing what I'm doing. I don't know if this is going to work out in the time frame I'm looking for within this month, really. I don't know if, this is going to lead into some ultimate punishment. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I still want to just make content, do what I do, and just hopefully have a lot of people with me along for the ride. Because if you're somebody who watches me or been watching me for years, the one thing that I would like to hope that you know, or at least have an idea about me to know, is that I am one ambitious person. And I'm just like, I will not stop until I get exactly what it is that I've been searching for. No matter how many times or how many struggles I have to go through it, I'm not stopping until I get what I want, honestly. And that's essentially what this whole thing is. So, again, if you think I'm going to retire or quit or give up in some shape or form, that's not happening unless I'm dead, literally. So, at the end of the day, I'm just going to keep continuing to focus, go hard, go ham. Hopefully you'll be there with me along the ride and along the wacky ass stuff that we do on this channel. That's literally it, honestly. So, yeah, that's essentially what I really wanted to talk about for this one. So, hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification me out. Also follow me on the socials, and let's donate to the channel. Kofi and Cash App is available as well. And until then, it's boy Jay, signing off. Have a blessed day.